Hey, what's up, guys? So coming to you again with today is going to be the ESPN preview for Saturday, February 20th. The card is going to be headlined by the huge WBC Super Featherweight Championship between Miguel Berchelt and undefeated Oscar Valdez. Big time matchup right there. We're going to get into the undercard first, but before that, guys, again, if you like my page, give me a thumbs up. Thumbs down if you don't like what I'm doing. Leave me a comment, positive or negative. I would love to hear feedback. And also, subscribe to the channel if you guys like it. All right, so let's get into the undercard. You got some decent action on the undercard going on. Elvis, the Kid Rodriguez, I believe is his name, undefeated, rising prospect, taking on Ventero, some guy named Ventero. It's pretty much a stay busy fight for Elvis, but you know that guy looks good. He looks pretty good, so he's been looking pretty good in all his fights. So he should do well. He should keep moving his career along. You know, and I'm looking forward to seeing him in action on Saturday. So it should be decent. The second fight on the card, I believe, is the second fight now, is a middleweight matchup that has top 10 potential. You got I think it's Falcao is taking on Arthur Akakov. So these two middleweights right here are lobbying to move into the top 10. You know, the top 10, kind of the back of the top 10 is wide open right now. You know, it is possible to bust in. Falcao is 31, hasn't beaten anybody significant yet, but he's 27-0 at 19 knockouts, and this is his chance to make a splash against the former two-time world title challenger, Akakov. Akakov has been there. He's, you know, a lot of people thought he beat Billy Joe Saunders a few years ago when he challenged him for the world title. Saunders got the decision. Then he fought Demetrius Andrade a couple years ago for the title and got soundly defeated in that fight. And, you know, but he's solid. He's not a bad middleweight, and he's a good test opponent for Falcao, who's trying to make a name for himself. So, you know, it really is a significant fight. It has a potential to steal a show. I think it does. I think it's a good matchup. So I'm going to go with Falcao by a decision in this one, but it could go either way. Akakov is very durable, very good, and I think it could be a good fight. So we'll see what happens. That's the third fight on the card, our second fight. Now the co-feature. Not a bad scrap here at 130 pounds. You got a fighter who's trying to get close to the top 10, Gabriel Flores Jr., as he takes on former world title challenger Jayson Valez. Now, this is the Gabriel Flores, undefeated fighter from Stockton, 19-0, I believe, 7 knockouts. Not a lot of power, but good skill and, you know, exciting type fighter. This is the prototypical gatekeeper opponent in Jayson Valez for Flores. He was supposed to fight Andrew Cancio. I think that might have been a little bit better test because Cancio was a world champion up until November of 2019. But Cancio had to pull out of the fight. So now we're going to see Jayson Valez. Jayson Valez went 10 hard rounds with Oscar Valdez in his last fight. He is not a bad fighter. You know, he's been around. He's fought good competition. And he's fought for a world title. So Jayson Valez is very credible. And if Gabe Flores can beat Jayson Valez and get his 20th win, we're looking at him possibly making a jump into the top 10 by the end of the year, towards the end of the year, you know, depending on who he gets next. But it could definitely lead to a title fight of some sort. Possibly, you know, it's just a good mark and a good next step in his career. And Flores has the tools. I'm picking him to win a decision in this one and move forward. But don't count out the veteran, Jayson Valez. He's definitely durable, and he could definitely upend the youngster on the rise in this fight. And then the main event. Guys, you do not want to miss this fight. Miguel Berchelt, the reigning WBC Super Featherweight champion, one of the longest reigning champions in boxing right now, is taking on undefeated former featherweight champion Oscar Valdez. I mean, what a good matchup this is right here. Berchelt has been champion since January of 2017, has beaten everybody that's gotten in his way and beaten them down. He really hasn't been challenged since he won the world title. He has not really been challenged. He's been challenged in moments, Takashi Miura, Mickey Roman, but for the most part, he's been just beating down his opponents. And you know, he's pretty much been floating around number one or been the number one fighter at 130. Right now, I got Gervonta Davis slightly ahead of Berchelt for number one, but it's so close that if Berchelt beats Valdez in any way, close decision or dominates him, he's moving back to the top spot. And Valdez, I mean, has a potential here. He can show us if he's the real deal. If he really is on the level, you know, at the top tier level. And this is a big opportunity for him to prove that right here, because Berchelt has been the man the last 4 years. And Valdez, if he can knock him off his pedestal, and Valdez could move to number two, he might be able to move to number one depending on how he were to win. So, very good matchup right here on paper. You know, it really is. Berchelt, though, I mean, this guy has just been mean, and he's been beating people up, and I don't see Berchelt losing this fight. I think Berchelt is a very good combination of boxer-puncher. I think Valdez tends to get hit a lot. I know he's probably going to be coming in at his best here, Valdez, but I really think Berchelt is going to put it on him and stop Oscar Valdez in between the 6th and the 8th, 9th round, and retain his WBC super featherweight title. That's my prediction right there. Now, Valdez could be a live underdog. He has that kind of style that if he can wear down Berchelt and get him into the late rounds, he might be able to stop him, you know. If he shows an iron chin and these guys go toe-to-toe, he might be able to get a decision against them. So, you know, I'm picking Berchelt, but I definitely wouldn't count Oscar Valdez out of this fight. But personally, I think Berchelt, this is his fight. This will go down as his biggest win so far just because it's an undefeated younger fighter and not a veteran who's got a lot of wear and tear like Francisco Vargas did. And it's a good way to prove that he can beat pretty much anybody right now. The youngsters or whatever, it kind of puts a staple on what he's been doing the last 4 years. And that's what he needs. Valdez needs this credibility in this win right here as well. It's a must-win fight for both guys. And ESPN's got the main event on Saturday, February 20th. Don't miss this, guys. It's the biggest fight of the weekend, one of the biggest fights of the month, one of the biggest fights of the year so far. So make sure you check it out. And that's it. 4 fights on ESPN. You got 3 over on Showtime. It's a good weekend of boxing again. So again, make sure you're checking it out. All right, guys. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this. That's the preview for ESPN on Saturday the 20th. True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.